Welcome to The Great Distraction, a comprehensive journey into how our modern world, with its relentless digital demands and constant connectivity, profoundly shapes our focus, impacts our productivity, and ultimately redefines our daily lives. We often expend our precious focus like a finite fuel source, burning through it rapidly with constant multitasking and digital engagement, and then mistakenly label the resulting mental exhaustion and scattered attention as genuine productivity. This powerful metaphor highlights a critical and often overlooked shift in our contemporary understanding of work and output, moving from tangible, physical effort to an intangible, yet equally valuable and increasingly scarce, resource: our attention. Historically, the Industrial Revolution established a clear and straightforward equation: the direct application of physical energy and brute force directly translated into measurable, tangible output and progress. Images of vast, deep coal mines, with their raw power and the intricate, powerful machinery of factories, defined an entire era where raw physical power and mechanical might fuel both industrial progress and massive production volumes. However, the advent of the information age fundamentally altered this dynamic, replacing the physical energy derived from coal and steam with the mental currency of attention and cognitive engagement as the primary driver of value. In our current era, our most valuable resource is no longer brute physical force or raw materials, but rather our capacity to focus and sustain attention, which has become a finite and increasingly fragmented commodity in the digital landscape. In this new and demanding paradigm, we frequently find ourselves expending more energy and effort working harder to maintain visibility and a constant presence online than to genuinely thrive, innovate, or even simply survive in a meaningful way. The constant and pervasive demand for digital engagement, immediate responses, and perpetual online presence creates an exhausting and often unfulfilling cycle of performance, validation, and seeking external approval. This phenomenon echoes historical patterns, such as the grand and influential 1851 Crystal Palace exhibition, a spectacular display of innovation, technological marvels, and global display that captivated millions. Much like today's endlessly scrolling Instagram feed, the Crystal Palace captivated audiences with an endless parade of novelties, technological achievements, and exotic displays, reflecting a timeless human fascination with spectacle and public display. The evolution from the Protestant work ethic, where diligence and hard work were seen as a path to spiritual salvation and moral rectitude, has subtly but profoundly morphed into today's pervasive hustle culture, emphasizing constant activity. Now, relentless performance, perpetual activity, and an always-on mentality are often seen as the ultimate and most important measures of personal worth, professional success, and societal contribution. Consider these stark and revealing facts. The average adult checks their phone an astonishing 344 times every single day, a habit that underscores our deep dependence on digital devices and constant connectivity. This constant and often unconscious interaction with our devices fragments our attention into tiny pieces and relentlessly pulls us away from deeper, more meaningful engagement with our immediate physical surroundings and the people around us. Furthermore, Generation Z, a demographic deeply immersed in and shaped by digital life from an early age, spends an average of 3 hours daily navigating the intricate and often addictive algorithmic media loops of social platforms. These algorithmic loops are meticulously designed to maximize user engagement and screen time, often at the significant expense of sustained focus, deep concentration, and critical, independent thought. The cumulative and pervasive effect of this constant digital immersion and fragmented attention is a global human attention span that has alarmingly dwindled to a mere 8 seconds, a stark indicator of our changing cognitive landscape. To put that into a truly sobering perspective, an 8-second attention span is less than the attention span of a common goldfish, highlighting a profound and concerning shift in human cognitive patterns and our capacity for sustained focus. This leads us to a crucial, deeply implied, and often uncomfortable question. What if the widespread phenomenon of burnout is not merely the result of traditional overwork, but rather the insidious consequence of chronic overdistraction? The constant barrage of information, the incessant ping of notifications, and the relentless digital demands create a unique and pervasive form of exhaustion, one that is distinctly different from traditional physical exertion or mental fatigue from deep work. This mental fatigue, born from perpetual digital engagement and constant context switching, can be far more insidious, pervasive, and damaging than traditional physical tiredness, impacting our well being in profound ways. The solution, then, isn't to quit technology entirely or retreat from the modern world, but rather to strategically and intentionally unplug. It's about finding moments and spaces to recharge where the digital grid simply cannot reach or interfere. This means setting realistic and achievable goals for device free time each day, consciously and deliberately stepping away from screens to engage more fully and meaningfully with the physical world around us. It involves planning alternative activities that stimulate different parts of our minds and bodies, fostering genuine human connection, nurturing creativity, and allowing for true mental restoration and rejuvenation. Practicing mindfulness, even for short, consistent periods each day, can significantly help us anchor ourselves firmly in the present moment, providing a much needed respite from the relentless digital demands and constant mental chatter. Connecting with nature offers a powerful and profound antidote to digital overload, allowing our minds to wander freely, rejuvenate naturally, and find a sense of peace and perspective away from screens. By consciously embracing and integrating these strategic approaches into our daily lives, we can effectively reclaim our focus, significantly reduce the risk of burnout, and cultivate a more balanced, fulfilling, and intentional life. Ultimately, the great distraction doesn't have to define our existence. We possess the inherent power and agency to choose presence, deep engagement, and intentional living over the relentless pursuit of perpetual digital performance and validation.